Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
Dr. Albert Metz wrote up a report. He was paid $600 an hour, by the way, by the SEC, which means this is paid for by taxpayers. $600 an hour to create a 100-plus page report that came to the conclusion that XRP's price results from developments surrounding Ripple specifically. So another way to say that, Ripple controls the price of XRP effectively, rather than following the broader crypto market. That is the absurd claim that is being made by Dr. Albert Metz. Ripple has responded to a recent supplemental report followed by Dr. Albert Metz, and does not want that to be able to, that submission to be a part of the case. They want to have it thrown out effectively. And the SEC has now responded. I'm going to share with you what the SEC had to say, but first I'm going to share with you opinion from attorney James Filan, member of the XRP community, and also opinion from attorney Jeremy Hogan, who of course runs the very popular YouTube channel Legal Briefs. And it's ridiculous. I'll tell you what, I might be able to hammer this one out relatively quickly, because look, sometimes these videos where I have to talk about the legal stuff, they go on for like 20 plus minutes, some of them anyway, because there's so much to cover, so much nuance. In reading through this, I got to tell you, it was highly repetitive, and so it's I don't think it has to be like a 20 or 30 minute video. I suspect it won't be. I mean, I never know how long videos will be when I hit record, but the parts that are in here are very interesting, so fear not. But before going any further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I'm not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. And so I got some dead trees up in my Moon Lambo hands right here. I highlighted the parts that I found to be most interesting, and just several parts over this 6-page document. And I did make a few notes because I want to make sure when it comes to legal stuff, that I don't forget points that flow in my Moon Lambo brain at the time. So shout out to James Filan first for sharing this document. He's always on the ball and sharing all these filings with the XRP community. And so he wrote the following. The SEC has filed its response to Ripple's motion to strike the Metz supplemental expert report. And there is this article from the Crypto Basic, which I think did a good job summarizing a lot of what's in here. After requesting a 2-day extension, the Securities and Exchange Commission has finally responded to Ripple's motion to strike the supplemental expert rebuttal report from Dr. Albert Metz. The SEC requested that the court deny Ripple's request to strike the supplemental rebuttal report because the motion was only established to prevent Dr. Metz from giving his expert opinion about the lawsuit. According to the SEC, the decision to preclude Dr. Metz's opinion on the matter should be decided by Judge Annalisa Torres, adding that Ripple's motion to strike the rebuttal report disregards the procedure. Notably, the Securities and Exchange Commission accused the blockchain company of trying to use its motion to solicit for unfair advantage in the litigation, where certain experts' opinions will be imperative to the trier of fact. And here's what attorney James Filan had to say after he read through this 6-page document. He wrote, "What a poorly written response. It's repetitive, a sign of a weak argument. It wrongly accuses Ripple of failing to follow proper procedure when the failure was the SEC's, and, almost comically, offers to consent to reopening a deadline the SEC blew." And what deadline is being referenced here? Well, I will go to the document real quick since he brought it up. This is the SEC's legal filing. I believe it's the top of page 5. Here we go. If defendants genuinely want to explore or address Dr. Metz's supplemental report, the SEC consents to briefly reopening expert discovery to allow for additional deposition questioning of Dr. Metz and/or the issuance of additional reports from the Ripple rebuttal experts. And so Ripple does have a couple of people that they've hired as experts, and they have ripped Dr. Metz's report to shreds. But here, the point being, the SEC is proposing reopening expert discovery. No thanks. I'm thinking Ripple's not exactly going to be a fan of that. Here's what attorney Jeremy Hogan had to say about this. The court allowed each expert witness to submit a report and then a rebuttal report only. So the SEC does a second rebuttal report and calls it a supplemental report. And so Ripple moves to strike it. No, serious, that's basically what's going on here. No, really. So, folks, do you see what the SEC is doing here? They're trying to game the system. They're not respecting the rules of the court. Each side gets to file one rebuttal report, and the SEC wants a second rebuttal report, so instead of calling it a rebuttal report, they call it supplemental. But it is a rebuttal report. I read through the damn thing. It's a rebuttal, folks. I can tell you that right now. I had a separate video where I was talking about that too. And so XRP Crypto, a member of the XRP community, wrote to Jeremy Hogan here and said, WTF is the SEC trying to do with all this back and forth with Ripple besides delaying the lawsuit? They must be packing their XRP bags. Jeremy Hogan responded, did you see footnote number 1? The SEC game plan is to appeal any adverse decision to Judge Torres. And here you can see, and he shared a little screen grab from this document, and it says, in any event, litigating this issue before this court will not conserve resources if the losing side appeals to Judge Torres. And so this, to be clear, what was filed by the SEC, what's being referenced, and I'm going to run through, like I said, some key parts that I highlighted. This was written, of course, to Judge Netburn. But either side can appeal if it doesn't go the way that they want. And the SEC has made it pretty clear in so many words that if it just doesn't go their way, and it probably won't go their way, then they're going to appeal to Judge Torres. Because they're a bunch of little crybabies, that's basically why. Then, somebody named XRP Ninja wrote to Attorney Jeremy Hogan and said the following. A question for you, sir. Although comical, is it such in United States law that the judge would be limited on how they could react to this sort of behavior, given that it's a government body and therefore protected in some way, thus allowing the SEC to fumble without the need to worry? And Jeremy said the following, which I found highly interesting. He wrote, a government entity is not supposed to be given any favors. But I literally heard a judge the other day that he is biased towards prosecutors who are in front of him because they have no economic incentive to lie or break the rules. That's kind of disturbing. I'm not surprised that there are some that would feel like that, some judges that would feel like that. But to think that there can't be other motivating factors that could lead to bias of a prosecutor is completely absurd. That's offensive. That's not the stance a respectable judge should have. It should be a level playing field in that judge's mind going into the court. Just saying. Wow. Now, I will say though, it does seem to me that Judge Netburn and Torres have been, on the whole, rather fair as far as this case is going. And frankly, most of the pretrial stuff has been favorable to Ripple, so we can't complain that much, really, right? And then somebody else named I lost my XRP in a boat accident, which is a hilarious name. That's a name on Twitter. I lost my XRP in a boat accident. Says, so is this normal, abnormal, disrespect to the judge, case suicide? Which is a good question. Is it disrespect to the judge? Because again, they're going outside the rules of the court. Reasonable question. Jeremy says, not having the SEC expert address something that was obviously coming from Ripple's experts was a mistake. Now they are trying to fix it. And that's not a good position to be in. And then Centrist on Twitter wrote to Jeremy and said, are the SEC lawyers trying to pull a fast one? If Ripple lawyers didn't call it out, would the judge let it slide? And Jeremy Hogan says, we'll see. I don't think Judge Netburn is the slap you upside the head type of judge. If she strikes the SEC's extra report, it will be done professional and with tact. So now let's get into this bad boy. And I don't think it's going to take me too long to cover this thing, probably just several minutes or so. Because it really was that repetitive. I kid you not. If you read through it yourself, you'll see like they already said that. They already said that. They already said that. It's ridiculous. But here we'll start on right around where I'm circling here where my cursor is on page 1. First, because the motion seeks to preclude Dr. Metz from offering certain expert opinions in this matter, it should be decided by Judge Torres, along with any other Daubert motions filed by the parties. The motion disregards that procedure. Now, so here the SEC is hinting that they will appeal to Judge Torres if necessary, if they lose on this motion. And regarding the Daubert challenge, I learned this because of attorney John Deaton. I actually mentioned it on my channel in one other video. Daubert challenge means a methodology of a report is criticized as invalid, which is the case here. Ripple's experts are claiming that Dr. Metz's report is using flawed methodology and as a result should be thrown out. And wait till you see in just a minute here some of the conclusions Dr. Metz came to. You're gonna know that there's no way a legitimate report could come to the conclusions that he came to. I will take the word of Ripple's experts. This thing, like, at least this should be thrown out. Moving forward, SEC writes, second, defendant's motion is an attempt to obtain an unfair advantage in this complex litigation where expert testimony will be critical to the trier of fact. Defendants want two of their rebuttal experts to be able to criticize Dr. Metz's methodology for not including a certain empirical economic analysis, which defendant Ripple's rebuttal experts did not conduct, while preventing Dr. Metz from offering testimony. So, right, Ripple's rebuttal experts did not conduct that analysis. Ripple's experts didn't conduct the same analysis as Dr. Metz because he used flawed methodology. Why would they conduct the same analysis using flawed methodology, SEC? You asshat lawyers. Like, what are you even talking about? Why would they do that? Do you think that's a strong argument? Do you think the judge is an idiot? I don't know. Sometimes I feel like with some of the stuff I've read from the SEC, actually a lot of it, if I were the judge, I'd start to maybe feel a little bit offended. Maybe that means I shouldn't be a judge because but it's so offensive. Like, it just is. Like, they're questioning. I'd take it because some of what they've said over the last year plus has been so absurd. It's like they're questioning the intelligence of the judge. Like, I wonder if I can pull a fast one over this time. That's what I imagine is going through these little asshats' heads. All right, now down to this part. This was mentioned twice. This is an example of some of the repetition within this thing. Where's the spot? It's towards the bottom. I have it highlighted on my page. I'm just going to try and show you guys where I start reading here for those of you looking at your screen. It's somewhere around here. Oh, the fourth line. Oh, yeah, here we go. The supplemental. There we go. The supplemental report shows that, but for the XRP price reaction to the positive Ripple news announcements identified in the initial Metz report, the price of XRP would rarely have exceeded 2 cents during the relevant period. 2 cents, folks. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to say more on this in just a second, but this is what I'm saying. Anybody that knows anything about crypto and has been, if you've been in the space for even a little bit of time, and you've looked over any sort of chart history, you know this isn't true. You know this isn't true. And then it says it again on page 4, maybe somewhere in the middle of the page here. Second. Yeah, it's in this paragraph right here, where I'm moving my mouse. Dr. Metz shows that, but for the positive Ripple news announcements he identified, the price of XRP would rarely have exceeded 2 cents between 2014 and 2020. That's almost the exact same sentence as on the previous page. That's just one example of the repetition. I didn't want to highlight all of them because it would just be a boring video then, but I wanted to highlight at least one, and that's a good one to highlight. So, look, Dr. Metz is arguing that without Ripple, XRP would not have been the best performing crypto on the planet in 2017. Now mind you, XRP for the calendar year of 2017 was up over 30,000%, the number one performing crypto on the planet. And from the bottom to the top of the market cycle, it was actually up about more like 80,000% at one point. But for the calendar year 2017, best performing crypto on the planet, Dr. Metz is saying if not for Ripple, that wouldn't have happened. XRP wouldn't have gone to $4. And not only would XRP not have gone to $4 without Ripple, XRP would have been the only crypto in existence to not go on a bull run last market cycle because it would have been at 2 cents. Every single crypto ran, every single one on the planet. I can show you a chart of all the coins that were around for the entirety of that period. Every chart looks identical. Like if I showed you all the charts and I didn't tell you which was which, there's no labels on them, you wouldn't know which was which. They all look the same. This is provably true. So what the hell is up with this guy's methodology? How could you possibly come to this conclusion? It's completely absurd. XRP, the only crypto that wouldn't run, my gosh, for $4, and it happened to be doing it when the rest of the market was doing it. Come on, Ripple didn't do that.
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below, and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.